All right, hello, hello, hello. It is Melissa May Dillon with my sister Sarah, and we are doing I Am Designed for Business. This is our first call together, so I'm super excited about this. I mean, technically, we did a kickoff call, which, if you haven't watched, is best you can. It is best to jump on that as quickly as you can. So, a couple of things I just want to set the tone for class today and about the program itself. Sarah kind of already did that about digging into your work about human design, learning all the things. And being ready to be coached when there's something that you need out of alignment. This is like a firm, loving hand that wants to guide you into a place that feels awesome and amazing so that we can save you from stress or overwhelm. Which one of the things I want to talk about is it may feel stressful right now with all the things. So even I haven't even yet finished my doing of the homeworks that Sarah has sent us to be 100% transparent. And it's a lot of information. It's a lot to digest. But one of the key things to understand here is like, as I've built my business here, the Insurance Exam Queen, a business that makes six figures in 1 month, has a six-figure YouTube channel. We've grossed over $2 million, is that I don't even have a full working understanding of this human design. I have just taken little hits from Sarah, or I'll ask her something and then she'll give me, insight. Like it does not have to be, I have a full-blown college degree in understanding my human design before I do anything or before I take action. There's actually a lot of beauty in doing it wrong because the lesson hits different. Failure sometimes is the best teacher that we can have. So I would rather you do something in your business, make an offer, and you took the action and you realized later that's not part of your design and you didn't enjoy it and you didn't love it, but it taught you how important it was to try things out, to fail, to learn that lesson. I had to learn the lesson. Like when I started my Insurance Exam Queen business, I was like, I need to produce an income faster. It was the only business I had. It was the only income thing that I had. And I was like, well, I was selling coaching or tutoring at like $33 an hour. And eventually I was like, I need to make more money than this. And I started selling like a supreme tutoring package that was like $1,000. And they'd have to pay the full upfront to be able to work with me. And and it was awesome and amazing at first, but then it became like, oh, I hate this. I hate that I have to get on a call with them. I hate that we have these meetings. I'm like, why? I hate it. And what it taught me was, I mean, it taught me so much. But I was able to, learn that like, this is not what I want to be doing. Yes, it is a way to make money. Yes, it is a way for me to receive an immediate income, but I can let it go because it's not in alignment with what I want. And it actually helped me to get better into alignment with what I want. And that was around the same exact time that I was stopping myself from putting out my courses. I had this whole idea that like I had to have clean, exact, perfect, beautiful videos in order to sell them as courses. But I already had I had a ton of content. I had been teaching classes, I mean, constantly. So I had all these recordings of me teaching classes, but it included people asking questions. It included, other people's, conversations. It wasn't just clean me teaching. And I was like, well, I can't sell a course until I have clean teaching. And in the meantime, I was doing all of these, one-on-ones with people that was draining me. I hated it. It was so annoying and so frustrating. I was more and more frustrated every single day. And it was from this frustrated place. And I also had David talking to me and my coach, Christine, talking to me, telling me, you have videos, you have videos, you have videos. And I'm like, they're not pretty videos. All of this culminated to like this point where I finally put out my videos. I wrote them all on note cards because every time I actually tried to record these clean classes, every time I was trying to do what I thought I needed to do to sell courses, technology wouldn't work. The camera wasn't working. The system wasn't working. A life event happened that I couldn't sit down and record these videos. So I was like banging my head against the wall and everyone is telling me, you already have content. You already have videos. So I was like, fine, fuck it. I hate these one-on-ones. Let me figure out how to sell these courses. So I got a bunch of note cards. I wrote down every class I had ever taught. I put how long each class was. And then I saw the pattern. I saw there was like a quick review, middle review, big review. I put them out as packages, 27, 57, 97, made $1,000 in my first day, which is what I was charging people one-on-one. And then I was like, I'm letting it go. There is no more one-on-ones. And I am still making I have made $2 million from those same videos. I have yet to go back and make clean videos because I had a baby. So like, it was not necessary. The thing that I thought I had to do, I had to make clean videos. This is the only way I can sell courses. I won't be legitimate unless I have clean videos. Yet to do it. I've made over $2 million. Everyone loves the videos. Like, this is not a problem. So sometimes like we go through something and we learn something to realize we need something else or we want something else. And sometimes we're blinded by our own limited thinking that the universe has to create. And this is actually part of my human design, Sarah taught me. I have to go through frustrating things to learn, to be able to find the solution, to be able to provide it for people. So part of our design sometimes is finding frustration so that we can heal it, clean it up, move it, make it simple, learn the lesson, teach the thing. Okay. I will tell you right now, Sarah is going through a lesson on money and charging and her rates, because I will tell you, her and I had a conversation where she's like, we cannot charge $900 for this. I said, Sarah, this is at a minimum a $2,000 course. Nope, not going to happen. So I slowly convinced her. I was like, okay, we'll start at $497, which was the pre-sale price. And then we'll go to the $997. And that was the max Sarah could hold her, nervous regulation at. And now that she's doing all the work and busting her ass to make this happen, like, you guys do not understand the value that you're getting. And if you do, like, you need to go all in to what Sarah is teaching you. You need to go all into these activities. Like, do not waste your time. Put the effort into it. Put the learning into it while you have Sarah on the hook, because she's got it. She's committed now. Like, you can't change the price now. It is what it is. So take full advantage. And I know, because part of what I do is I help people raise their rates. My nail salon lady, my hair salon lady, they all raise their rates when they work with me because I help them see their value. I help them see their worth. And I did the same thing with Sarah. I made an annoying situation for her with a really low rate because she couldn't raise it. I was like, fine, we'll accept it. Now she's doing a ton of work and she's like, we should have charged the $2,000. Like, I know. So all of y'all right now, you are really getting a master level course. I have seen courses on human design sold for more where you get a way less. So like what you're getting now, the access to her brain, the access to her knowledge, the access to her ability to put this information in such an easily digestible way, absorb it, work on it. And I know she's going to talk about this too, but again, there's so much here. You have to trust. And I tell this people with passing the exam, trust that what you need is going to land the way it needs to land. It's going to be okay. So what I do want you to go all in, learn the things, do the activities, do the homework, do the prompts. But what I don't want you to do is add stress and overwhelm. I'm not learning enough. I'm not absorbing all of this. I'm missing out. None of that is going to serve you. None of that will serve you. I will tell you, it took years of hearing certain things on repeat before it sunk in. Sarah has been teaching me for years, back in starting from 2013, certain things that still sink in. Everything will land when it needs to land at the right time. And when you trust that, and when you own that, and you move forward in faith instead of fear, it all feels so much better. It all feels so much juicy. So play all in, do the activities, stay on top of the schedule, but don't think that you're behind. Don't think that you're missing out. Don't think that you're not getting it. Just trust that it's all going to line up the way that it needs to line up, and that it's going to serve you exactly how it needs to serve you. And my biggest thing is, don't waste this opportunity that you have Sarah live. Yes, you have access to the recordings. You can watch them whenever. Yes, you can do the homeworks whenever, but you only have so much access to her and I's individual time. And I promise you, she is probably going to be quadrupling her rates when we're done with this masterclass. So get in now as best you can before that. But of course, my goal is that y'all raising your rates too, that you guys are making so much more money by the time this is over. So part of the magic between Sarah and I is not just, Sarah's got the human design stuff. I can't really add a whole lot to that other than to you tell me your design, you tell me your thing, and I'll be like, oh, this would be a perfect idea for you, or do this way. I'm bringing in this magic money. I make 6 figures a month. Just feel that for a minute. $100,000 a month. Michaela's in this room. She sees it come through my website. She sees the numbers. Today we're at almost a $5,000 day. Can you imagine making $5,000 in one day? Feel it. It's here. I'm here. I make $5,000 in a day. I make 6 figures a month. A big piece of being in this room is that you get to raise your frequency up to that. You get to say, it's possible. It's real. Darcy knew me in 2013. I was a poor little teacher, just not making any money. And then like even just it was only 2022 that I started my business. 3 years ago, I went from corporate worker at 60,000 to now I have made over $2 million. It can happen that quick. It can happen that fast. And it was a beautiful, amazing ride with Sarah in my ear teaching me about human design. So what you're getting right now is the potential of within 2 years from now, within 3 years from now, I could have $1 million. I can have $2 million. I can have a 6-figure business. All these things are available. All these things are possible for me. If it dwells around me, it dwells within me. The people around me are the evidence of what's possible. So I'm in your sphere and I make 6 figures a month. I make $5,000 a day. It's in your sphere. It's possible. And I want you to feel into that. 6 figures a month. That's insane. I didn't even make that. It took me like 4 years of teaching to get even close to that. And of course, it didn't feel like that because you're getting, I think my first paycheck was $900 for 2 weeks. I'm like, this doesn't even pay my rent. Back when I was teaching. So I just wanted to bring that on. And again, the biggest thing is do not stress yourself out. Everything will land when it needs to land. Trust, move forward in faith. Everything will land when it needs to land. I will absorb the information. Some of it will click in later. Some of it will pop in later. And failure is one of the most beautiful teachers. Failure is not really failure. It's just a lesson. And sometimes we can't learn every lesson by winning. We have to learn the lessons by fumbling, by messing up. And a lot of the times it's to clear out stuff that we've got in us that is programmed and conditioned in us. And it's our time. A trigger is just a teacher. And so when we fail and we're like, I should never have run a business. I'm stupid. I don't understand my authority. It doesn't make any sense. Clear that up, get rid of that, move forward in faith saying, I'm so glad I get to learn these lessons in this safe space right now with Sarah, with Melissa, where they can continue to guide me and hold me and help me elevate to where it is I want to go and what it is I want to do. So with that, I'm gonna turn it on over to Sarah. And I'm so excited for you guys. Again, take in as much value as you can. This is the cheapest time you will ever be able to get this kind of work from Sarah.
It always gasses me up.
What?
I said you always gas me up, but
well, you should be like you do not even like one of the things is like I always stress to people is you don't understand the magic that you have within you. I can see it. I can see the magic. I told Sarah, I said, Sarah, you're sitting on millions. I think you're just sitting on millions and you're just playing around like doing these little tiny readings for like $50 back in the day or whatever. It wasn't that long ago.
Remember when I was doing readings for $22? Okay, so anywho, okay, so to piggyback off of what Melissa said, I really just want to highlight that there are yes, you will have access after the class. So to highlight that we have a range of knowledge inside of this collab. Some of you guys heard human design for the first time, like when me and Melissa said that we were doing this. And some of you guys have been in my world and looking at human design for years. Darcy's actually a human design reader, right? And so we have a bunch of different levels, right? And so my job as the human design expert for this collab is to make sure that I'm giving every single person in here what that person needs based on where they are at in their journey. So, like Maria, for example, does fitness, right? If she's personally training one client and that person is heavily overweight and it's hard for them to stand up and walk, how she treats that client is going to be much different than somebody who's been doing, a HIIT workout every single day, 6 days a week. You have to approach it differently. And so one of the things that happens when you're inside of a group like this that has all these different ranges of expertise is that there's going to be things that don't land for you. Either it's beneath what you already know or it's above your head. That is okay. What this gives us is the opportunity for great expansion. There's a way that you can show up in the container that is going to excel you forward. So for example, if I'm new and I'm getting frustrated and I come to the group and I'm like, oh my God, I don't get this, it's over my head, I'm behind, there's so many things. Feel that energy. How is that different than coming to the group and saying, hey guys, I've listened to video one twice. I'm stuck on this. Is there anyone that can lend me a hand? It's a different energy, right? One is playing not to lose and one is playing to win. We went over this in our kickoff call. The playing not to lose looks like, I don't want to lose. I don't want to be behind. I don't want to be the stupid one in class. I don't want to be the, right? And so you're playing not to lose and you're desperately frantically trying to catch up or make rationale as to why you feel this way. We don't need any of that. Like Melissa said, that's not serving you guys. You guys have so much support in this class, but be clear about what you need. Be clear about communicating what support you need, because that's not just going to work for you in this class. That's going to elevate you as a leader. That's going to elevate you as a business owner. As a business owner, I used to own brick and mortar businesses. Before COVID, I had 7 different locations. There was so much to hold inside of that. And then when COVID happened, we lost 6 of the 7. Think about the characteristics that have to be in a person to handle stuff like that, to be able to hand the close or the shutting down of a business, to be able to hand the altering of a lease, to be able to hand a government shutdown, like to be able to handle those things. There's a certain standard that you need to have with your energy. And what I'm asking is that you show up inside of that standard in the collab. So come ready for a solution, not pointing out the problems, right? We're going to make this work together no matter where you're at in your level of human design. So today, Melissa is going to talk a little bit about feminine and masculine energy, because one of the first things that we need to do when we start thinking about rebuilding our business or building our business from a space that we love, something that we really enjoy, we have to be willing to get rid of the things that we don't enjoy or the things that are maybe good, like Melissa said, but they're not great. Right. And sometimes it's really hard for us to let go of the things that aren't working for us or aren't working in our business because we have a belief system that it has to look that way. And so as we start to think about letting things go, I know for me, when I first started letting things go, a lot of fear started to rise up in me. But like, whoa, what would happen if I let this thing go? Right? I already know what this thing is offering me here. I can't even possibly imagine the void of it leaving. So I'm going to pass it back over to Melissa, and she's going to share a little bit more about how we can receive in a state of doing less of what we hate.
That's awesome. Yes, doing less of what we hate. Everyone has like a bank account to the universe. And in order to access it, I kind of like to think of like Harry Potter's, if you ever read that book or that movie, they like go in this dungeon and there's this big old bank account. And it's like sitting there with all of your desires. And the way to access it is by showing up as your true, authentic self. If you show up as someone else, you can't quite open it. Or, and a lot of times we show up as who we think we have to be, right? When I was a teacher, I'm like, long brown hair, cute dresses, I didn't, every once in a while I would tap into my other identity, but, I thought I had to be a certain way in order to, have the job that I had or be the person that I had. I didn't fully authentically express myself because I was conditioned and programmed to think that, women have to have long hair. We have to dress like this. We have to walk like this. We have to talk like this, all of these things. And so when we try to show up to the bank of the universe and we're not showing up as our true authentic self, we can't quite open it. So same thing with strategies. When you have a business and you're trying to do this strategy because it worked for someone else, and you're showing up to the bank of the universe saying, I'm using my strategy. I'm trying to do the thing. I'm doing all the stuff I need to do. Everyone says I need to do this. It's not going to open up because it's not in alignment with your true authentic self. So when, and this is the thing about strategies in business, is a strategy may work for another person, but falls completely flat for you because it's not, what it is that you want to be doing. Your strategy has to be, in order for a strategy to be successful and to feel good, it has to be in alignment with like who you are and what you're doing. It is not like within my business, there are definitely times where I'm like, I want to hustle and make money and do some stuff, but I always do it from like a place of feeling fun. If I do it from a place of feeling pressure, it doesn't actually make a lot of money. And this is true for me the other day or a couple of months ago. I was like, I want to see an influx of cash. So I'm going to put out a class. I'm not really into it, but whatever, I just want to see an influx of cash. And hardly anyone signed up. And normally my classes are like $5,000-$6,000 when I put out classes like that. So I was like, you kind of did that from a place of you weren't in alignment and it fell totally flat. Like, oh, I know this. Thank you for the reminder. But one of my best months in the business, 111,000 in that one month, was the month of August. So one of the things that is very important to me is my family, hanging out with my family, supporting my family, spending quality time with my family, especially my nieces and my nephews. And in the month of August, I actually decided, like Sarah flew in and we went up to Chicago for a little bit. We did like a photo shoot. We talked about building business. We talked about what we can do, but I didn't take any action directly in my business. I mean, I did do the photo shoot, like the picture we used for the human design program. And then we went to Michigan, and then we hung out with family. We went on jet skis. We did all this fun, amazing stuff. And I made the most money in the month where I did the least amount of work because I was showing up in my true alignment. My true alignment is I enjoy hanging out with family. I enjoy having that time. I prioritize my family over everything else. And it was the best six-figure month we had ever had, 111,000. We haven't even hit 111,000 again. So I think maybe, I don't know, not in core sales anyway. I have a few streams of income and I pay attention to one of them mostly. Imagine having so many streams of income you can't even keep track. So like when we are doing something that we don't want to do, we make less money. I know that, like, and that's why like so many of us stuck in corporate jobs are not making our worth, because we're doing something we don't even want to be doing. But when we're doing something that lights us up and that feels good, we actually make more money. And I know that like sometimes there can be a void. It's like, well, I know that I can predictably make money doing this. And even though I hate it, I know I can receive this amount of income if I do this. And then the void to say, I'm going to completely let that go and start doing the thing that I want to do. I know that is scary as hell, but I promise you that on the other side of that is way more income than you can even dream or imagine of. It's happened to me. I mean, even just, you know, quitting my corporate job, going from a consistent paycheck to now doing everything myself. I had so much faith in what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. My dad's like, where's your business plan? I'm like, I don't have a business plan. I got a YouTube channel. I'm just making videos. That's the plan. Make the videos and just run with it. I've done everything by the seat of my pants, but that's like who I am. I love off the cuff stuff. I show up my best when I just simply show up and then meet the energy of the room and go with what's happening and then trust what flows out of my mouth. So I did my business that way, and it built amazingly. It's been incredible. I've gotten to the point where it's like I manifest by simply, you know, saying this is what I want, and I start moving towards it, and the earth and the world has to form itself. I imagine, I literally visualize myself walking into black space, walking into like emptiness, and as I walk, the earth forms itself under my feet to grow and develop what it is that I want to be able to see. And I will tell you the times where in the business, if I ever felt stressful, if I ever felt like this is a lot, because again, it's not ever perfect, and there's always growth, and there's always things you have to evolve, and there's always things you have to learn and grow. The times where I took a bubble bath, instead of trying to figure it out or fix it, it solved itself, like, or clarity or insight came in about how to solve it. So like one of the things I stress the most is the best time to relax is when you have no time to relax. If you have no time to relax, you need to go relax, because anything that you're doing in the energy of I'm stressed or I need to figure this out or I've got to hustle to sort this out, you're not going to pick a good choice anyway. You're usually not going to be in alignment with what it is you need to do. You need to take a moment, take a bubble bath, refresh, do whatever for me, it is definitely taking a bath. But for you, you've got to do whatever it is your activity is. And you've got to trust me that on the other side of resting and relaxing and trusting is all your desires. Because especially like we're in a room of women, like we have like feminine energy is all about relaxing. It's all about receiving. When you think about the egg, you know, the sperm has to do all the work. The egg just sits there. I'm here. If you want me, come get it. I ain't moving towards you. I ain't doing nothing but sitting here. And if you want it, you have to come to me. You have to eat your little way in and burrow in, right? I'm just going to sit here. That's the feminine energy, sitting and receiving, you know, or like think about the birthing.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so have any of you actually seen the where they've done like visuals of an egg and what happens before the sperm comes, and it's like it almost looks like a sun, like it's like shining. Have you guys seen that? Okay, so I just want to point out that the reason why the sperm, or in this analogy, what we're manifesting is knows where to go, is because that egg is shining. So, to Melissa's point about being authentically yourself, you shine when you are authentically yourself. So, you can't just sit back on the sofa and go, yeah, she's right. I'm fucking miserable. I hate my job. So, I'm not going to do shit. I'm just going to sit on my sofa and come to me. That's not me being my true, authentic self. That's me being my burnt out, numbing self. And you have to know the difference between rest and relaxation and just numbing yourself, because those are two different vibrations. Rest is actually receiving the pleasure of not doing anything. Numbing yourself, that's like after the numb, after the 1 hour break, you get up and you still feel like you need more break because you didn't actually receive your rest. You sat there the entire time in your head, guilting or shaming yourself for sitting down for that hour. Those are two different frequencies. So I just want to make sure you guys are hearing the message clearly when Melissa is saying this. We're not giving you permission to just veg out on the counter and say, oh, nothing, I did what Melissa said, but nothing actually worked for me, right? You gotta be burning. Your passion and excitement has to be expressed.
Yes, yes. And that is a very important piece. So I'm by no means always saying don't take action, don't do anything and sit back and just like, because the income is based on impact. I do need to be making an impact in the world to receive income, 100%. It is very rare. I mean, money does need to be earned. You need to be putting stuff out. The thing is, when making, large sums of money, it's just trusting and knowing that God is writing the paychecks, not the one single person who's buying something from your website. So, but yes, you must be able, you do have to take action. But again, taking action from a place of I'm stressed, burnt out, I need to figure this out, I got to make money, does not serve you near as well as I got to rest and relax, take a breath, get into alignment, trust and have faith that what I'm doing is going to be awesome, and then move from that spot. If you're moving from a spot of fear, the results will have fear attached to them. But if I'm removing from a place of faith, the results will have faith attached to it. So everything we do in the way in which we do it is going to show up more of how we did it. So what I'm stressing right now with the relaxing and the receiving of the egg is not so much I don't do anything. It's more like how I'm doing the things. And how you're doing the things is trusting that you're giving up the stuff that's not serving you. You're giving up the things that drain you. You're giving up the things that you hate doing. Like, I have this offer and it sells, but I don't like it anymore. You have to trust that giving it up is going to open space for what it is that you actually want. And that's when the egg sits there. The egg says, I'm not doing this. I'm not chasing the sperm. I'm done. I'm just chilling. You chill. You rest, you relax, you trust, and then that sperm that coming, that's the insight. That I'm getting a little bit into the sperm here, but God will give you, source will give you, Mother Nature will give you when you're sitting there saying, I trust, I'm going to receive what I need to receive, and then you'll get an insight, you'll get an inspiration, you'll get a email from somebody. I want to network with you. Like, I will tell you, there's a really big guy I'm the insurance exam queen. I help people pass their exams in the insurance world. And there's a really big guy. He's kind of like the Tony Robbins of insurance. His name is Cody Askins. And they had reached out to me wanting to interview on his YouTube channel. And I was like, awesome. And then it was like, well, it's $5,000. And I'm like, what? I have to pay you? I was like, I have a big audience. I'm like, nah. So then they're like, okay, fine. And they reduced it to half. And I get it. It's pay to play. And I do it too. If people want to be on my YouTube channel, they have to pay me money, which is fine. But that actually that's how I learned that I can do that that's a whole income stream for me. So I was very happy about that. Now in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, this is Cody Askins. There's so much power behind a partnership or what we can do, or, how this can work out. And it happened in the month of December to remember. So if you guys follow my page at all, for the month of December, I was saying, I want to manifest $1 million in 1 month. Now, I didn't physically manifest $1 million of cash, but I did get a loan if I wanted it. I didn't sign up for it for 1.5 million. But so much of December to remember was, I don't care if I actually get the cash right now. What I care about is I'm getting in sync and in alignment with making $1 million a month, which means I was like, kind of like sitting as the egg saying, universe, I'm ready to receive $1 million in 1 month. Let me know what it is I need. Let me know what people I need to have in my life. Let me know what connections I need to make. So I had this meeting with Cody and he was like, this was awesome. And he exchanged phone numbers, and then it was like nothing. And it was like, part of me was like, oh my God, I want something more. I want to grow and develop this. but I let it go. I was like, I had my meeting. We put up the podcast. It had success. And then I just let it go. And I did not have one other thought about it. And then just recently they emailed me. They said, we want to meet with you again. And I have a meeting with them in a few days. I have no idea what it is they're looking for, but I just have trust and faith that it's going to be awesome and amazing. But I didn't sit there and go like, God, like, should I be texting him? Like, how do we do this? I want a partnership. We got to grow this. Like, I know I can help him make money. He can help me make money. I didn't fester on it. I just let it go. I just did what was in front of me, which was have our meeting. I had the meeting. We put it up on the YouTube, whatever. And then I just let it go. I knew there's something there. I knew there's potential there. He does a lot of what I want to be doing, which is speaking on stages, doing all kinds of events. Like I want to be doing that stuff. And I was like, I kind of was like, I know that I'm supposed to be working with him somehow in some capacity, like being on his stage, and he throws these big events. But none of that happened in the first phone call. Like that just wasn't something, but I just let it go. I just let it go. And now we have a meeting set up. And so we're going to see what kind of, I'll let you guys know. I'll let you know what magic happens. But this is like the trusting and the letting go. We can't always constantly be like, if we put up an offer for sale, like, so let's say I put up an offer, I have a course or I have a booking that people can have. And then I'm sitting there watching, like, is anybody buying? Is anybody booking? That's the part we're talking about where you got to rest and relax. You did everything that you could do. You put up the offer, you have the sales page, and now it's your time to go and rest. Go and do an activity that you love. Go and do whatever and not be checking and not be like, nobody signed up yet. This is a failure. I got to pull it down. I'm so stupid for even putting it up. It's more like I do the work and then I sit back and then I relax and I allow the magic to work. I allow my faith to show up. And then I'm going to do it anyway. So let's say I have a masterclass and I'm like, I want, I feel like 100 people are going to sign up. Nobody signs up. Do you still get on and record it? Yes. There's always a lesson. There's always a purpose. There's always a reason, and it will come to you. Sometimes like, let's say you're like, I want to teach people about, holding the void. Sarah had a thing about holding the void and nobody signs up. You're in a freaking void. So you're supposed to hold that masterclass, talk, and something about what you say is supposed to be there for you. It's meant for you. So we got to trust that every action we take, everything that we do is going to serve us, even if the failure is what is to serve us. So I think, did that answer? I feel like I talked about a lot of things, but I trust it all came out the way it needed to.
Yes, it was beautiful. Does anybody have any questions for either one of us? I'm kind of curious, have any of you been pondering maybe something that you know you need to let go of, or something that you've been kind of mulling over that you need to let go of, but you're like, oh, she's talking to me when she says that. Look at
Yes.
Juliana over there blushing.
Michaela, if you're going to speak up, go for it.
I need to let go of draining clients.
Yes.
People who just suck the energy out. Not you.
Just kidding.
Shut up. You. Sorry, I work for Melissa. No, but before I worked I started properly, pretty much full time in September. So I still have a surplus of some clients, and because I have long-term commitments, I'm very loyal and I'm very committed. So, but they are in the price bracket I used to be 5 years ago. It's a bit like Sarah's $20 readings.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm so loyal, I've not gotten rid of them. But they've gotten so used to getting all this for this much that they almost take it for granted. I really need to let go of them. And I've let go of two. And it was a huge drama. They basically said, I'm breaking contract. So what contract? We're not in a contract. And I felt guilty. I felt really bad that I have upset them.
Okay. Did she she moved. I was like, did you just drop out? Okay. Here's what just immediately came to me when you said that. I want you to energetically let them go first. So this is where you're going to sit and you're going to talk to yourself and you're going to talk to them in like this protective bubble. So I want you to say like, client, I am grateful for the opportunities that you have given me, for the gifts I've been able to hone, and for the things I've been able to share with you and the business I've been able to do. I am grateful, but I am done. And I am sending you off with so much love, and I'm sending you off with so much light. And I know that our paths, we had a time, we had a purpose, but it is over. and I am sending you off with so much love. I am sending you off with so much light. Because when you broke up with those other two clients, you broke it off with, oh my God, I hate this. I don't want to break up with them. Ah. So what did you receive back? Exactly that. So before you cut off the next ones, you need to get into the right energy of feeling good about sending them off. And that's some internal work that you need to do. So this is where I need to talk to myself. Like, I am not serving them if I am creating stuff for them in low energy, low vibration. It's everything you put out with resentment, everything you put out with fear is going to come back with that. So it's not serving them either that you create stuff in a realm of resentment anyway. So this is where he's like, I am the most important thing in my life. And you are. You are the only thing that you are guaranteed to have for the rest of your life. Everyone else can die. Everyone can disappear. You are the only thing. So your job is to take care of you, not other people. And I know, I get it, because I have the loyalty of, I'm here to help pass the insurance exam. I can't, abandon my people. I understand that feeling. But at the end of the day, you are the most important, and you have to take care of yourself. So do an energy work where you talk to them, you let them go, you feel much better about it. And then I want you to, type up something like,
Yeah, my therapist actually said I should get somebody else to type it.
Yeah, I was going to tell you, use Chat GPT. That's what, Randy and I do.
Because my voice is just too straight up and
Yeah, I can do it. I can whip it out for you in like 5 seconds. So no problem. But I would do the energy with yourself first and get into.
But that's the things I need to let go is my draining clients, basically. So I only have the ones that give me joy and charge me up and make me happy.
Yes. Yeah.
Like you.
And, yes. And it's only you're only gonna feel worse and worse and worse the longer you're giving something you don't even want to have.
Yeah.
So and it's blocking you from receiving even more better stuff. Yeah. So it's time to prune the branches. You know what you need to do. Now you just need to do it. So have some sort of energy clearing exercise where you speak to them, you let them go energetically, and then you type it up and you send it off and you release it and you release their reaction. It's not yours. It's not yours. You might be in a state of using that as like, if you have an old past trauma where it's like, mama punished me, and it's like, like it's going to hit, it could hit that wound and it could hit that, but use that opportunity to reflect and go inward and say, this is highlighting for me that I have this to deal with and I want to clean it up and I want to get it out.
Thank you.
Yep. Tracy, your job. She goes, she just called me out. Talk to me about what happened the other day or what's going on.
Shit. What happened yesterday? My boss, I really don't give a shit about this job. And it shows, it feels. I have the energy of doom and gloom. And we butt heads all the time. And it's that feeling of having to vend myself all the time and worthlessness, and for a fucking paycheck, which is this much. And I know I'm at my end. But I came home, I had a mental meltdown, and then I stopped and I asked why. I kind of felt myself through it, and I manifested everything that I got. So now I'm in that energy of, well, shit, I got it. I asked for it. Now it's, how do I get out of it?
Good. I'm glad that you took responsibility. I'm in this situation because of me. Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
And now,
it's 100%. It's 1,000% of me. He didn't knock on my door and go, here, I'm going to give you a shit job. You want it? And me going, oh yeah, that's great. No, it doesn't work like that. But I'm in that, I don't know if you call it a void, because I do have my business. However, my business,
what is your business?
My business insurance. Hello.
What's the job?
Insurance, life insurance, but I run the office and work for my boss, and it's not working.
Okay, so you have a completely separate business and a job.
Yeah, I work 24/7, 7 days a week.
Okay.
I feel
And why are you not quitting?
because I don't make enough of my business to yeah, I don't. I've done it before, and my husband doesn't make enough. I came from a breadwinner when I quit my other
You're not
job,
quitting
and
because you're afraid.
oh, yeah, guilty as charged. I am so fucking afraid. And it's not even it's the security of this little salary that I know what it pays. And on the other end, I'm busting my ass taking every client. I say no to everybody, whether it takes like 6 hours to do one client for no commission. Yeah, there again, I'm working for free.
Okay. So you need I can tell you, I mean, I know it's terrifying, but if you were to quit, your business would do much better. Your business is not making any income because you are draining the fuck out of yourself at a place you don't even want to be. Why would your business, you're not watering it.
Yeah.
You're like, this is a thing on the side. Like you're basically saying, universe, give me what I want by me doing something I don't want. How? How is that going to equate to anything? I understand the fear. I understand needing to pay the bills. But this is where you begin to show up as the more you show up as your authentic self, that stuff gets taken care of. Like you really, I mean, you could figure out a way to be, if you can, this is the only way that I can see this working. You find every single reason to be so grateful for your job. You feel so good about the job. I feel so good that I'm working with this man that's teaching me so many lessons. I feel so good that I've got this paycheck that allows me to pay my bills. You have to shift your entire mindset and feel nothing but gratitude for your job in order for your business to start growing so that you can quit the job and have the business. Or you quit the fucking business or quit the job and go all in. These are the only two ways I can see.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
got to decide. I
Yeah.
mean,
I know it's a decision, and what scares me even the most on fearful one and then the fearful two, I got into this business to get out of my prior job. So basically, I got my license thinking I'm going to make, all this money because somebody else did, and asked them how they did it. And I did the business at doing the business, excuse me, and find that I procrast so much, and I know the procrastination is I don't love it.
yeah.
I
You
don't,
basically say, I'm in this place that's not serving me and it continues to not serve me, but I'm going to keep doing it because I'm afraid of doing anything else.
yeah.
What I hear you, Tracy, saying, and I just want to clarify, you do not like either one. You do not like the job you have, and you do not like the business you're building. Is that correct?
Bingo.
So because when I look at your chart, I'm like, how the hell are you doing either of these jobs? Like, this is definitely not what you're meant to be doing. In all of the time that I've known you, and I don't know you very well, Tracy, but we've had interactions on Facebook. You comment on all my stuff. I appreciate so much love. What it allows me to do is to get a sense of your state of mind. And this is really, really common with your design, right? So I don't want you to take on any guilt or shame around this. This is just a common happenstance of your design, is that you get stuck in victim mentality. So like where Melissa was saying, you're noticing all the things you don't have instead of the things you do have. Have you ever watched that show, The Lottery Changed My Life? And every single person on there, no matter how much money they won, I'm talking billions of dollars, within a year or two, they what, Tracy?
They lost it.
They lost it because energetically, they cannot hold that money because they don't think like millionaires and billionaires. They think like broke people. So
Right.
until you stop thinking in the negative, you can't manifest or hold anything that's going to be positive. So even if tomorrow the perfect job came your way, you wouldn't be able to energetically attract it because you're not in alignment with it. So this is going to take some digging here, but from my point of view, from the human design point of view, and I would love to do a one-on-one with you where other people can watch this in the group to see this. What I see you doing is you're stuck in all the parts of your design where you are not, great or held in. And you're ignoring all of the parts of your design where you have your gifts. And that's likely because growing up, everybody was pointing out all the things that you weren't doing instead of really focusing on all the things that you were doing really beautifully. That's common. That happens to a lot of people. So you're living in your mask, your not version, this character that Tracy has made to protect herself, to look good in front of other people, to be accepted. Like you've created this character that you're playing, and it's not really who you are. And that's why you feel like, oh, I wake up every single day and I'm just like it's never enough, right?
Me.
Huh?
Me.
Yeah. So the first step that if you were my client, if you were my one-on-one client, the very first step that I would have you do before anything else is to work on that mindset. When you can you become self-aware enough? And this is going to be challenging for you because inside of your chart, one of your blockages is deafness. You don't always hear because you're in your head thinking of all the negativity. And so it's going to be really important for you to take a step back and work on, can I be self-aware? Can I catch myself being negative? Can I turn it into a positive? Can I go back and reread the comments that I make and go, wait a minute, am I talking from a negative space? Am I focused on the problem here? Or can I switch it and get focused on the solutions? Your design is really, really good at solving challenges. But your design is also really, really good on seeing those challenges so that you can solve them. You're stuck on seeing them and you're not moving to the solving them. But you can do that. You can do that. You have to train your mind to see the positive instead of the negative. So I love what Darcy says right here. She goes, what if you took a different perspective? That without this feeling, you wouldn't be compelled to leave. You wouldn't be compelled to leave this place. You wouldn't know that it isn't working for you. Right? So it's like, that's such a blessing to have that experience to shift your mindset. Jen says, shift from why is this happening to me to why is this happening for me? Yes. What am I supposed to be learning from this situation? So Tracy is a 5-1, just like you, Juliana. She's a generator. And she only has defined sacral and solar plexus. So very emotional, very creative. That's your talent, is emotion and creation. You're supposed to be using that emotion to create bonds with people, intimacy. These are the mothers of the world, the wives of the world, the best friends of the world, the creative geniuses, the artists, the painters. Everything about you and your design, Tracy, I hear complete different when you talk. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
I looked at my chart and I was like, who the hell is this?
Were you tell me a little bit about your background. Are you a mother?
I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother.
And when did you become a mother? What age?
I was 25.
Okay, and at that point, did you become a stay-at-home mom? Did you go to work? What did that sort of look
Oh
like?
God, I worked 24/7.
Okay,
I was the breadwinner forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so right away, right there, you're out of your design. You have that nurturing, need to be home, loving on my people, creating intimacy with my children. Like that would have really like fueled that creativity side of you, right? And so that gets stifled because you're conditioned or because you're in a situation where you need to make money or whatever the situation looks like, and you stifle that part of you. And eventually you just become somebody that you don't really recognize. And so a lot of this work is going to be about deconditioning and getting to know you. So instead of spending time with the Tracy that exists right now, meaning instead of getting in your head and talking to the Tracy that's negative and notices all of the challenges and is like, woe's me, instead of doing that, get to know the real Tracy. Spend time with yourself again. Take yourself out on dates. Creativity just comes natural for you. So even if you don't think you're good at it, try painting something, try writing something, do anything creative. Make music, sing a song, whatever it is that draws your attention. It may not be something that you even know that you love yet, because you were thrown into needing to provide, needing to make money, needing to take care of my kids. Like a lot of times we're just hidden from the things that we love, and we need to take some time to explore and discover, you know, like a kid would. The wonder of being a child. You got to tap back into that so that you can start to get connected to who you really are. Because until you do that, none of what we really talk about is going to resonate, because you haven't been listening to her. So, you know, it's going to be really hard for her to shout, yes, that's what I want to be doing, because you're just so disconnected from her.
And I think you're here, Tracy, because I mean we've worked together for a little bit for a while. Radical changes require radical changes. And so you have been living in a lifestyle, in a program, in a system for however what do you want to share?
I'm 60.
60. For 60 years, you have given to something else that's not you. You have lived a lifestyle that's not you.
Nope.
And I can understand how scary it could be to shift from that. But you know, if we live to 100, you've got 40 years left. How do you want to spend the rest of those years? Continuing to give in to something that's not you? Or are you ready to make radical fucking shift and step into who it is that you are and who it is that you want to be? Like
Radical.
every single day, every single moment, I have to shift. Is this fear or is this faith? Is this fear or is this faith? I'm done with the fear. I'm done with the fear. I'm done with the fear. I'm moving in faith. I'm moving in faith. I'm moving in faith. I'm moving in faith. Radical changes require radical changes. You must be the change.
I love Jules shared, one of the ways you can tap into your original design is through play. What would 7-year-old Tracy love to do? Try some of those things to find yourself again.
I was going to say, you need my shift and lift experience. I created this 3-day shift and lift and raise your vibration thing that we're putting on the website. And it is ready. Like I can give you the YouTube videos, but the very first thing I tell you is you got to play. You got to do something fun. You have to reconnect with your inner child.
And you may find, Tracy, too, like you may find that if you start playing, if you start creating, if you start for some reason painting keeps coming up in my intuition, but you know, if you start doing those things, you may find that your energy starts to turn back up and work isn't as miserable as it once was. You may find that it's easier to hold a level of gratitude or appreciation when you just start feeling a little bit better about that. I know that when we think of work, we're like, oh my God, I spend all day at work, but a full-time job is 8 hours of 24. We still have 16 hours of we can be inside of our design. So a lot of times people will be like, I'm going to wait to step into my design until I build a life that's around my design. No, it's the opposite. You start being your design, and then it becomes easier to attract the jobs, the situations, the relationships that are supporting that design because you're already embodying it, right? We're dressing for the job we want, not the job that we have. So find ways to step into your design now. So instead of saying, okay, Sarah says that I shouldn't be doing this, I need to find a job that's more creative. No, just start being creative now. Start doing it right now. You could literally get off of the phone and you can go find a piece of paper and start doodling or coloring or doing something that's going to tap into that creative side. It doesn't have to look like a full-on, tonight I need to send in my resignation and make this huge shift. You can start to take little itty bitty steps to make your nervous system feel more comfortable with the idea and build some confidence so that when you do take that next step, you know, you've already got some juice in your motor.
Yeah, the mothering didn't hit what I'm supposed to do. Mothering wasn't natural, so I didn't understand that one.
It's nurturing. So if you weren't nurtured as a child, that there may be some resistance there or some lack of just recognizing what nurturing looks like. Or you could have just been in a space where you weren't able to nurture your children, so you blocked off that part of you that wanted to. I don't really know without going deeper in there, but you definitely have nourishment as one of your gifts inside of your design, is that when people are around you and you're loving them and nourishing them, then some beautiful things can happen there for them.
Thank you, girls.
Yeah, I
No
will
worries.
say one of my first one-on-one clients, the first thing I told her to do was start drawing. She doubled her paychecks.
But
Just
Yeah.
from drawing.
Yeah. Because again, who you are when you show up to the bank of the universe has to be you, your authentic self. You don't know who your authentic self is, but you can't find it until you start tapping into your inner child. That's what holds the key. And so you got to start doing playful stuff. You got to start, because I asked her, I said, what is something you used to do as a kid that you really enjoyed that you no longer do? She said, painting. I said, I need you to start painting. I want that to be your number one activity that you do. She started painting, double paychecks. And she's like, I don't even know how. Because she's a court reporter and she makes money when people make copies. And she's like, I didn't do extra work, but how is it double? And I'm like, because you painted, because you tap back into who you are. God writes your paychecks, not your boss, not your business, not your job. God, when you tap into being in alignment with who He created you to be.
Yeah, it's like sometimes, Tracy, we can get into the habit of I'm just going to keep trying to go to different bank locations and switch it up, but you can't get in, right? Like the way in is to do that work to reconnect with yourself. There's no perfect business model that's going to come around that all of a sudden your problems are going to be fixed and everything's going to be great until you go in and you start aligning. So it's like make this strategy an internal strategy, not an external strategy.
for sure.
All right. So if there's nothing else, I'm actually going to, Melissa, if there's any way that you can stop recording this, but then restart recording this, because Maria was having some trouble getting through video one. And so I'm going to walk her through that. If anybody else is struggling with video one or wants to stay on and learn more, you're welcome to do that. But I wanted to walk her through that to make sure that she got that done.
Is there anyone else who had anything they wanted to bring up? Okay.
No, but thank you.
All right. I just wanted to just tap in. Okay.